I totally just got done filming another video and went to check my lipstick to see how it was holding up. And I had highlighter on my lipstick from trying to touch up my Cupid's bow in between videos. So that'll be fun to watch back in the edit. Hi guys, my name is Lacey. Whew, my voice cracked. Hi guys, my name is Lacey. I have spooky lips and fat hips, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I wanted to wait to do this video because I know that a lot of people were recently participating in No Buy July. E.L.F, if you didn't know, started No Buy July, who is a friend of mine on YouTube. I love her and her channel dearly. I think she's so wonderful and beautiful and smart and insightful. So I was not trying to make this video to shit on that at all. So just disclaimer for that before anyone wants to come for me. I specifically am waiting till August for that reason. I also know Lauren May Beauty was promoting No Buy July a lot. Again, I said this before, she's one of my biggest inspirations on YouTube. So we're in August. I want to talk about this. I was written down in my journal to talk about this for a while. We're going to talk about it today. Obviously, you've read the title. Today I'm going to be talking about what I think the problem is with no buys. Came prepared with notes for this one. Again, just to add on to my earlier disclaimer, I'm not shitting on people who participate in no buys. I'm not participating on creators who promote no buys. I was inspired to do this video because of another video that Karen Harris here on YouTube had made, and I believe her title was why I can't go on a no buy. I'll link it down below. And she listed all the reasons why she felt it was hard for her to participate in no buys. And it really got me thinking about why it is that I think so many of us struggle with no buys, myself included. And I know a lot of people comment like, oh, I can't go through no buys. I crack, I break, I buy things and it's all over. I messed it up. I can't do it. There's too much good releases happening. Blah, blah. A lot of people have problems with no buys. I think no buys help a lot of people. But in the same breath, I think sometimes no buys can be band-aid solutions, especially if you're not fully grasping the need to go on a no buy or why you feel like you personally could benefit from a no buy. So that's specifically what I want to talk about today. Again, we're not straight on no buys. I just want to like dive a little deeper into them, shall we say. So I think in general in the beauty community, makeup lovers, especially this like smaller YouTube community that I exist in and a lot of my friends exist in, we all talk about wanting to buy less makeup, wanting to be smarter consumers. I don't know if I feel like there's this whole expectation to be a smarter consumer. I don't know if necessarily we talk enough about why. Obviously, I just did a whole video about my own struggles with makeup addiction, and it's really kind of because of how like vulnerable I feel like I was in that video and how I kind of just laid all my cards on the table. It's really made me feel more open to doing more videos like this where we can like talk about these things, and it's made me feel a little bit more like honest and open and comfortable, if that makes sense. So like, why is it that us as makeup lovers feel like we do need to make smarter shopping decisions, that we do need to watch what we spend more, besides the obvious, besides like wanting to have less clutter, wanting to spend less money? I think something that gets missed in a no buy is, maybe not, this could only be me. Part of it I think is sticking it to makeup companies and like influencers that are constantly like buy, buy, buy. It's kind of that whole like sticking it to the man aspect of like, no, I'm not gonna buy every new thing that comes out. Work harder to impress me kind of thing. I think that's a trend that we've seen lately ever since the whole anti-consumerism, arguably started by Kimberly Clark, surgeons on YouTube of all like, why is it that we're trying to be smarter consumers? I feel like I'm getting nowhere. I'm just talking in circles. I think for the longest time, so many of us, myself included, are used to just buying anything that seems remotely interesting, and especially those that are promoted by influencers. And there's, until recently, has been less of an awareness of like, oh yeah, people get paid to promote shit. Let's not give into it. And especially brands, because of how booming the makeup industry currently is, how popular it all is, constant influx of products thrown at us at any given moment. And I think so often we're just buying the newest thing because it's talked about, and that then it's a dust collector, or then you get it home and it's not that much different than something you already have. And it's just like, I think the whole culture of buying less, whether it's through no buys or not, one, forces companies to maybe produce better things that are going to appeal to us more, that are worth spending money on. But two, it kind of checks us. It kind of like stops the whole like life changing, you have to buy it, use my code, blah. It like wakes us out of that whole like hypnotized glittery fog that we all live in, and reminds us like, no, calm down, we don't need everything, life will go on if I don't buy the thing. Like, so often I think people get such bad FOMO, that word's thrown around so much, fear of missing out. If you don't buy it, you're gonna regret not getting it. The truth of the matter is life's gonna go on. So I think that's definitely where no buys come from. It's just like a quick reality check. It's a quick like, calm down. If you don't spend money for a certain amount of time, you don't buy makeup for a certain amount of time, you're gonna live. You know, that kind of thing. Especially because makeup does expire. You should enjoy what you have. You should use what you have. Get your money's worth, all of that stuff, etc. That being said, where's the problem in no buys? So you're probably thinking like, well then no buys are great. Like, what are you talking about, Lacey? Shut up and just let people do their thing. What I think is the personal problem, it's not the no buys itself. It's not stop shopping. That's not the problem. I think the problem is for a lot of people, going on a no buy is a lot like going on a bad diet. Instead of making the steps to actively change your lifestyle, it's almost like a quick fix, and then you're just gonna jump right back into the problem when you're done. And I've seen that a lot with any no buy, whether it was no buy July or not. A lot of people being like, well, my no buy's over, and then just like instantly buying all the things anyway, instead of maybe taking what you could learn from a no buy and applying it to your entire makeup shopping experience for the rest of your makeup 11 days. Like I said, it's just I think it can be a temporary fix. And I think you talk about going on a no buy, and then we're really conscious about what we're doing in the moment of the no buy, and then once the no buy is over, it's just back to square one. That's the whole point of this video. It's like, what can we do besides no buys that really gets the whole smart shopping like agenda across? What are some things that we can do besides no buys? And I think for a lot of people, maybe a no buy is the best solution. Maybe the tips I'm about to give are not helpful, and you can't control your shopping, or you really are suffering from the FOMO thing real bad and you can't shake it, and maybe the only way to break you out of this reality is to have a no buy. But I think for a lot of people, it's not for everybody. And I've written down some things that I think if a no buy is not for you, or like I said, it's just kind of a band-aid solution, these are some tips that I feel like will help in the long run. Does this all make sense? Do you see where I'm getting at? I just feel it. Things that we can do to be better shoppers, better makeup consumers in the long run. Here we go. The first thing I wrote down is to unsubscribe from any makeup email list that you're on. So I receive emails from a lot of my favorite brands. They tell you when sales are happening, when new products drop. I think if you're trying to curb your makeup shopping, unsubscribe from all of them. Like, because they're so tempting. I know for me, I check my email every single day, and when I see those emails and it's a good enough sale, I'm going to be tempted to shop. So I think number one, if you don't want to have that temptation, get rid of the reminder that makeup's on sale in the first place. Limit the categories of makeup that you allow yourself to buy. So for me, because I love eyeshadow so much, I definitely try to limit other things, like how many foundations I have at any given time, or bronzers, or things like that, because eyeshadows I love so much, or highlighters I love a lot. So there are other areas where I can maybe tone down if I want to have the bigger collections elsewhere. That's just me personally. This is a big one. Set a budget for yourself, or put money aside for any given amount of time. For each one of my paychecks, as ridiculous as this seems, I have a makeup budget in each paycheck, so I pay off everything that I need to pay, take care of myself the ways I need to take care of, and then I have a little chunk of it that I put away as fun money, and that's what I can spend. And if I don't use it, I can roll it over to the next paycheck, cool. If I spend it and another release comes along and I can't afford it, tough luck. And that stops me from doing things like putting money on my credit cards, which can be harmful, or going into a savings. And I think just setting a makeup budget for yourself, especially if you're used to just buying all the crap, can be very helpful for people who are just starting to curb their makeup buying. This is a big one that is more helpful than you would believe it to be. Get rid of your how should I put this? Get rid of your pre-uploaded payment methods on any website, on PayPal, anything. When you have to go through the trouble of getting your card out of your wallet and typing in those numbers, it just gives your brain like an extra couple minutes to like think about what you're doing. and process that you're about to spend money and maybe can stop yourself. Where I think is if you have everything preloaded, it's so easy to just mindlessly click. I know for me anyway. So like think like Amazon one-click shopping. That's so easy and that's so addictive, and it's just like you can shop without thinking essentially. Give yourself the extra step in between the final purchase and the initial interest, just to slow yourself down. Similarly, keep busy. Find other ways to keep busy besides online shopping. I know this is a huge one for me. When I'm bored, I open the Ulta website and check new releases, or I open the Sephora website, or I browse Murumuru to see what's new, or Beauty Deals BFF to see what's on sale. If there's something else I can do to keep busy, if I could binge watch another TV show, if I can play a new video game, if I could work on making YouTube videos, etc. If I can chat with a friend, get out of the house, hang out with other human beings. I'm not hyper focusing on shopping out of boredom. I know I'm a boredom shopper. Besides also like emotional shopping, which I talked about in my makeup addiction video. I know I'm an emotional shopper. Find other coping mechanisms, find other ways to deal when you're feeling those kind of stressed, anxiety-inducing, sadness-inducing kind of feelings. Find other things to do besides just insta-going on all of the shopping websites. Do your no-buy, if whether it is a no-buy or a low-buy or whatever, do it with friends, do it with a buddy. Have someone in your life that can help hold you accountable, not in a cruel way, but in like someone who maybe understands what you're going through, understands that you're trying to slow down your shopping, that can hold you accountable. I know like I'll send makeup releases to my friends and be like, what do you think of this? And maybe they can be like, nah, you don't need it. Or you probably have something like that. Like make someone in your life, even if it's someone else who's maybe struggling with a love of makeup that runs too far, runs too deep, and like help hold each other accountable, support each other to make better decisions. Declutter and shop your stash. I'm going to put these in the same breath. I know when I like to watch declutter videos when I'm in the mood to declutter, because it really does inspire me to let stuff go. When I'm decluttering, it helps me figure out what it is that I really like, whether it's preferences and formula, styles of makeup, colors, textures, things like that. Decluttering definitely not only puts in perspective how big my collection already is, makes me more aware of what I have because I'm opening everything and touching everything, and maybe I'm giving attention to things that I haven't in a very long time. I'm pinpointing where my tastes are. Same thing with Shop My Stash. If I'm reaching for things that I haven't maybe reached for in a while, I can re-fall in love with stuff. It maybe gives that whole like Christmas morning feeling without having to spend the money again. I could rediscover something. It can give me that same love of having a new item. I think it's fun to discover old loves and like find new things in my collection that I maybe didn't give a fair enough chance the first time. I think decluttering and shopping your stash can help a lot when you're trying to stop the current buying. And then finally, the biggest thing I think is to educate yourself on the bigger issues. So go through almost like shocking it out of your system. Look into the effects that consumerism has on our lives, on our everyday lives. Really put into perspective maybe even your own situation. Like really look at your own finances, look at your own collection. Like I know that could maybe sound harsh and depressing, but if it comes down to it and you're really like, I can't stop, really find ways to put the whole issue into perspective, to make it digestible to you, to really like kind of get yourself to understand why it is that we all want to buy less makeup. So touching on what I said in the first place, if you kind of are someone who's like, I don't understand why everyone wants to stop shopping, and again, none of this has to apply to you. If you like to shop, if you have the money to shop, if you like the size of your collection, you want to have a big collection, you want to keep shopping, you want to keep up on new makeup releases, disregard everything I'm saying. I know I'm someone with a big makeup collection. I want to have a happy medium between collecting new things, trying new brands, having a good collection, having a variety, but also not buying things just to buy them, not maybe supporting brands that I don't think deserve to be supported. That's another thing that you can do to educate yourself or shock yourself out of it, is maybe like being more mindful of who you're giving money to, all of that stuff. I know I've mentioned this 1,000 times. My makeup addiction video, I talked about how just watching anti-consumerist videos really helped me so much, because it was the first time that people were talking shit about brands, about brand owners, about makeup, and it was the first time in my life that I wasn't like, maybe everything isn't great and beautiful, maybe I don't need everything. That's kind of what I'm getting at. It's like, if you're really like, I don't get why everyone wants to shop less, but you also want to shop less, seek out information sources, people who are talking about these issues, who are maybe putting in perspective that you don't need to buy everything. Does any of this make sense? really my whole point of this is that if a no-buy isn't for you, I know no-buys really suck for me, and I really am a collector. I love trying especially indie brands. I love trying new brands. I love having new and inspiring color stories come into my life. I've gone on successful low buys before. I've limited categories for myself, like I'm not going to buy any more foundations until all of my current foundations are used up. That's why I wear the same Tarte foundation in every single video, because I just want to pan it already. Like, I definitely have been, like I said, successful low buys. I've only really ever gone on one successful no buy, and I know that for me, I insta-bought everything when I was done. So really, that's just my whole point of this video. It's like, if a no buy isn't for you, I'm just trying to offer maybe other helpful things that might work for you if a no buy isn't helping you, or just maybe you can apply to your entire life outside of a no buy, just in general. That'll make it easier to navigate all these new makeup releases, to be a smarter shopper, and all of that jazz. If you like this video, if you like me, if you like stop shopping kind of videos, please like and subscribe. I'm gonna try harder to talk about these kind of things now that I've made my makeup journey story public. If you have any tips to add to this list of ways that you can be a smarter shopper beyond just a no buy, please add them down below. I love that we've been such a helpful, supportive community, and like encouraging people to maybe like curb their makeup addictions a little bit. Again, no shade to anyone participating in any no buy or starting no buys. I think no buys can be helpful for people who are only moderately shopping to begin with, or for people who maybe, like I said, need that like shock of like nothing else is going to work unless I just stop completely. But I think for other people, if you're so used to just constantly buying makeup, it might not be as helpful as maybe just like implementing some other things that maybe help a little bit, help more in the long run, if that makes sense. But yeah, if you like this video, just like me, hit like and subscribe. We'll talk about it down below. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, which is also Spooky Lips and Fat Hips, so you can see me when I'm not on YouTube, but I am trying my best to upload new videos every single weekend. And yeah, that's all I got for this subject. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys!